The rain fell heavier than the weight of betrayal in my heart. I sat on the front steps of the grand estate I had once called home. Drenched, shivering, and alone. My gray hair clung to my face, and the wheelchair creaked beneath me as I stared at the closed iron gates. Behind those gates, my children laughed, celebrating their newfound fortune of $64 million. The house echoed with music, the champagne bottles popped, and their bright clothes spun in joy while I sat outside like a forgotten stranger. Just days before I had raised them with everything I had, sacrificing my life, my health, my dreams. Now with millions in their pockets, they had no use for the frail old woman who had once held them in her arms through storms fiercer than this one. Before I go deeper into this story, let me ask you something. If you believe in kindness, in forgiveness, and in second chances, please take a moment to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support allows stories like this one to reach hearts that need hope. My name is Margaret Holloway. I wasn't born into wealth, nor did I ever chase it. My treasure had always been my 3 children, Stephen, Caroline, and Nathan. Their father passed away when they were young, leaving me to raise them alone. I worked double shifts as a nurse, sewing clothes at night to make ends meet. Every dime I saved went into their education, their opportunities, their futures. I remember nights when I would go hungry so they could have enough to eat. Mornings when my bones ached, yet I stood tall so they would never see weakness in me. I thought love and sacrifice would be enough to keep us bound together forever. But I was wrong. Their lives changed the day their uncle passed away, leaving behind an inheritance none of us could have imagined. $64 million. At first, I was happy for them. I prayed this money would secure their happiness, their families, their peace. Yet within days, something began to shift. Their voices grew colder, their visits fewer, and soon they spoke more to lawyers than to me. Caroline, my eldest, once told me with a strange smile that perhaps I would be more comfortable living in a smaller place away from their bustling lives. Stephen agreed, saying they needed the house to manage their new lifestyle. Nathan, my youngest, didn't say much at all. He simply avoided my eyes as though ashamed to admit he had already chosen wealth over his mother. The day they threw me out, the rain poured down like it had been waiting to witness this betrayal. They placed boxes of my clothes on the curb just beyond the gate. I begged them to let me stay until the storm passed, but their faces were hard, their laughter echoing from inside as I wheeled myself away into the storm. That night, I slept under the awning of an abandoned store, my thin blanket soaked, my body trembling from the cold. I had gone from a proud mother to a forgotten burden. In the span of hours, days turned into weeks, and survival became my only mission. I found shelter at a run-down nursing home where the staff looked at me with pity, but no compassion. Meals were scarce, the bed uncomfortable, but at least I had a roof over my head. Still, every night I would replay the image of my children's faces in my mind, wondering how the love I poured into them could vanish so easily under the shadow of money. But life has a strange way of turning tables. 3 months later, I was sitting in the garden of that same nursing home when a sleek black car pulled up. Out stepped Stephen, his suit wrinkled, his eyes hollow. Behind him came Caroline, her once proud face stray with worry, and Nathan, his hands trembling as he carried a thin briefcase. They approached me like children again, not the millionaires they had become. Their voices cracked with desperation as they confessed that the fortune had turned to poison. Friends had betrayed them, business partners had swindled them, and even family members they barely knew came out of the shadows to take advantage of them. The mansion they had flaunted was gone, sold to pay debts. The cars, the jewelry, the parties, all gone. What remained was emptiness, fear, and the bitter realization that they had no one left. No one but me. I listened in silence as tears rolled down Caroline's cheeks. Stephen fell to his knees, clutching my hands with the same grip he once had as a boy when he was afraid of thunderstorms. Nathan whispered apologies, promising that if I forgave them, they would never turn their backs on me again. Part of me wanted to turn away to let them feel the sting of rejection as I had. But my heart, though bruised, was still a mother's heart. I remembered the nights I had cradled them, the mornings I had prayed over them. I could not deny them, even if they had denied me. So I opened my arms, and they collapsed into them, weeping like the children I once knew. Rebuilding trust was not easy. They moved me back into their new modest home, not a mansion, but a simple house with warmth. This time there were no gates to shut me out. They worked hard, taking honest jobs, learning humility in ways they had never known before. I guided them with wisdom I had carried all along, teaching them to value kindness over wealth, family over fortune. Slowly, I saw the light return to their eyes, not the glimmer of riches, but the glow of gratitude. It was in those quiet moments around a small kitchen table sharing simple meals that I realized something powerful. Sometimes losing everything is what it takes to find what truly matters. To those watching, I want to say this. Money can build walls, but love tears them down. Wealth can vanish in an instant, but kindness leaves a legacy that lasts forever. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps us continue to bring real, emotional, and inspiring stories to you. And before I end, I have a special request for you. Please comment below. Would you forgive your children if they abandoned you for money, or would you walk away? I'd love to hear your thoughts because in the end, forgiveness does not erase the pain, but it does open the door to healing. My children learned this lesson and so did I, and as the sun rose on our new life together, I understood that even in the darkest storm, love will always find its way back home.